Welcome back. Dr. Aaron Chadwick, part of Your Nutrition Physicians. Today we're talking about poop and acne, psoriasis, and eczema. You may be saying to yourself, what does poop have to do with acne, psoriasis, and eczema? Let's talk about it. So the digestive system, it's all about foods. We have our stomach, which connects to our intestines. We have 22 feet long small intestines. It's like a garden hose inside of our abdomen here. We all have that. That's normal. We have proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. As we chew them and swallow them and digest them, they get broken down into smaller particles. Proteins get broken down into amino acids. Fats get broken down to fatty acids, and carbs get broken down to sugars. You don't have to know all that stuff, but just know that they do get broken down. So the problem with acne, psoriasis, and eczema, these foods are not getting broken down correctly. And the main reason they're not is because you eat a lot of refined foods, processed foods, fried foods, and foods that have been stripped of their nutrients, because it's the nutrients in foods that help them to digest. So we want to eat things like fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, brown rice, quinoa, chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, good stuff like that. And those foods are digested better than the other foods. In the case, though, of acne and psoriasis, as these foods are traveling down your small intestines, they're not being broken down effectively, so they're larger than they're supposed to be when they come to the end. Absorption of foods takes place towards the end of your small intestine. There's pores, there's holes in the walls of your small intestine that allows the foods to get into your bloodstream. From the bloodstream, those foods go to your liver, then your liver tells the foods where to go in your body. When you have acne and psoriasis and eczema, that process of breaking the foods down is slowed down and impaired, and if you're not moving your bowels through, those foods will stay there in the intestinal system, and they'll irritate the lining of the intestinal system. So those foods will sit there for longer than they're supposed to. When proteins sit there too long, we call that putrefaction. When fats sit there too long, we call that rancidification. When the carbs sit there too long, we call that fermentation, but the bad kind of fermentation. So that's what happens when these foods sit here. So when they sit here, they irritate the lining of the wall, and then there becomes the particles of food sneak into your bloodstream. These big particles, they're supposed to be small, but they're large. So what your body will do, it will send out your immune system cells. You're called your white blood cells, and other cells called your immunoglobulins. And what they do is these white blood cells come over here and they attack that large food particle. It's supposed to be small, but it's big, so they attack it. And that battle creates debris. In the case of acne, psoriasis, and eczema, that debris settles in your skin cells. In your elbows, in your knees, behind your knees. Those are the most common places to have things like psoriasis and eczema. And of course, acne can be on your facial skin, on your chest, on your back, because that's that debris coming out. Because the body does not want to have these food particles in the blood system, so it pushes it out. And your skin is called an eliminatory organ. An eliminatory organ helps get rid of toxins. But what happens is there's too many for the body to handle, and it pushes it out through the skin. Normally what happens is those food particles will go to your liver and your kidneys and being broken down there, but because there's too much happening, it irritates your liver and your kidneys. So your liver and kidneys get involved, and your intestinal system is a big part of it. So, and if you're not moving your food through your bowels at least one time a day, you are constipated. That's right. If you do not move your bowels at least one time a day, I'm talking about a well-formed stool, not little pellets, that's not normal, not stringy, that's not normal, and not, 5 to 8 times at one time. No, I'm talking about one good LBS, long, brown, and smooth bowel movement. That's what we're looking for. How do we get that? How do we help our skin in getting rid of acne and psoriasis and eczema? We use vitamin A-rich foods. Vitamin A is the #1 vitamin for skin health. The lining of your intestines is the same cells as your skin cells. So when the food is irritating your intestinal cells, it's actually irritating and irritating your skin cells. So we have this irritation that goes on down here. The body will use up the vitamin A, and the skin cells, they don't don't turn over correctly. In other words, skin cells last about 14 days or so. But because of lack of vitamin A, they'll die prematurely. When your skin cells die prematurely, then you get acne. You get more skin. You'll see like little flakes and stuff. That's because you're lacking vitamin A and also lacking vitamin zinc. So you got to have vitamin A rich foods. What are they? Things like cantaloupes and squash and carrots. All your brightly colored foods, your yellow and orange colored foods have a lot of good vitamin A for the health of the skin. Zinc rich foods, pumpkin seeds and whole grains and fish. Zinc works with vitamin A to keep the skin healthy. And fermented foods. Fermented foods, good fermentation happens when we take things like cabbage and we put it in a brine in water and we let it sit there with some bacteria and that becomes sauerkraut. So sauerkraut is an excellent fermented food that helps the intestinal system stay healthy, but it's great for the skin, acne, and eczema and psoriasis. We also, other examples of fermented foods would be pickled beets or pickles in general. But be careful. Watch out for the preservatives in the pickles. And in the any type of food that's in liquid form, make sure there's no artificial preservatives in them. So we like pickles, sauerkraut, beets. Pickled beets are great. You can get fancy and use kimchi if you like. That's great too. Kombucha is a great liquid drink that's also fermented. Great for your intestines, great for your skin. Those are really good examples of fermented foods. The next one, chlorophyll-rich foods. Chlorophyll is considered to be the blood of the plants. In green plants, chlorophyll gives the plant its green color. So broccoli, spinach, bok choy, kale, the green, and that comes from chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is well known for cleansing the blood. Remember when I told you about the battle that goes on with your immune system, your white blood cells? If you can clean up the blood, you're going to clean your skin. I'll say it like this. A clean skin comes from a clean blood system. When your blood system is clean, your skin will be clean. So we need these 4 things to do that. And it's going to take some time. If you're suffering from acne and psoriasis, eczema, if you follow these 4 suggestions, give it at least 4 to 6 months. Why? I mentioned before, we have a 22-foot-long intestinal system. We are amazingly made. If you were to take the surface area, this is the surface area here of your intestines, the wall here. If you were to open up the intestines, you know it would be the size of a tennis court. We're amazingly made. And that surface area is where the food gets absorbed, and that surface area can get irritated. So in order for your body to get rid of the irritation, because the irritation becomes something we don't like, it's called inflammation. So in order to get rid of inflammation and irritation, we need to keep the food moving through the intestinal system, and we need to make sure that we're eating the right nutrients to feed the intestinal system cells so it can stay healthy. Okay? This is Dr. Aaron Chadwick, part of Your Nutrition Physicians. Please like this video and share it with all your family and friends. And like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. And we also, my wife, Dr. Juan, and I are also doing a class every Monday night, a free question and answer period, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have the link below inside of the comment box. And also, if you have any good subject matter you want us to talk about as far as nutrition and the health of your body, if you have questions for us, you can put them in the comments below. And then if you have any suggestions for future shows that you want us to talk about, by all means, please put them down there. Okay? So that's it for now. We're just about out of time. God bless you guys. We'll see you Monday night. Remember, click in the link below and press the subscribe button. God bless you guys.